So for this video, guys, we're going to be looking at the safety blitz 3 flipped as a right hash mark blitz. You can do these blitzes anywhere, but we're trying to give you the least amount of open space. So when you're leaving a side open, you want to leave the short side open. So what I'm going to do here is run the same play flipped, and we're going to do the same start off where we're going to do base the line, and then we're going to spread our line, crash them up, blitz left of screen outside linebacker, and quarterback contain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this player right here, Kazee, and we're going to put him on a curl flat. Make sure that we put him out there. Then we can just do cloud flats if you want to make sure that you're in that coverage. If you want to be in hard flats, you just shade it underneath. Either or, right? If you want to do cloud, just shade it back up over. Now what we're going to do is take this player here, Ishmael, and we're going to put him on a vertical hook. He is our user. So you can see that we've got pretty good coverage to the left-hand side. We've got our player right here that is close to the line of scrimmage, so he's going to help us out with covering any type of seams. You can always go ahead and, if you want to, put your players in inverted coverage. I typically run inverted coverage almost every single time I run cover 3, unless somebody goes ahead and is beating me towards the sidelines all the time. Then what I'll do is I'll just kind of adjust as I see formations. Now, the player that you want to see that's coming in is going to be here, Allen. He is going to be your strong safety. So I'm going to hold this player here. This is the vertical hook. And I'm just going to block my running back on the left. Remember, if they're blocking a running back on the right, you're going to get this in naturally because of the fact that that player is going to come in. So if they're blocking just the running back on the left, what we're going to see here is this guy's going to come through this gap, and you're going to get right to the quarterback. So it's a really nice change-up blitz that people aren't really looking for because it doesn't look like it's edge heat. You can see that we got everybody in the box, and you're going to see to the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to have a cloud flat and a deep third, and plus that other deep third. So you got the left side of the screen pretty covered, right? And you'll see that this guy's going to go this way with it. We're just going to bring this player in, and you're going to have a really nice opportunity. Now, where are you susceptible? Obviously, anything to the right side of the field. So we're going to give up the flat pattern here. Don't worry about the flat pattern at all. You're going to give up the 3 to 5 yards. If that's something that they want to run, that's fine with us. Let them run that, right? If they're running any type of ins, from the left to right, you're definitely going to want to cover that with your player. Typically speaking, I know that this blitz is coming pretty quick, so I'm going to cover any verticals originally by your tight end. So let me kind of show you here a little bit more what I'm going to talk about here. So let's do this again to where I'm going to block the running back. I'm going to put the A on a vertical route, right? Something like this. Now, if I'm looking at this blitz here, what I'm going to do as a user is know that I'm giving up some coverage here. You know that, right? It's going to be dual edge heat, right? So you got one from left, one from right. So because you know that, that's something that you're going to have to live with. It's not going to be something that you're going to call every down. I'm going to call this more often in third and long than anything because I am giving up the right side flat. We know that, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that I like to move this guy down, especially a little bit to the left-hand side. If I know that this guy over here, I'm just going to click on him so you can see it right. If he's on any type of streak route, I'll put him on a streak route just so you can see it. He needs to be covered by that player, right? Our responsibility with this player right here is if Olsen is on a streak route, we need to cover him down the field. If he goes ahead and does a flat, we are leaving the flat for the 4 or 5 yards because usually it's third down, and we're going to let him have that. Once we're doing this, if he's not on a streak, then we're going to come to the middle of the field. That's really as easy as our responsibility goes. We're leaving the right side open when it comes to dinking and dunking, right? So in this case, all I'm going to show you here is, let me see, I got everything. I'm going to show you here, I'm going to cover this guy down the field. And you can see that it's not going to be something that you're going to have to cover for very long. Obviously, we just got the guy clipped us at the last second. And usually with blitzes, you take a little bit longer. It's going to do that. But you're going to see here is when this guy goes up the field, that's your responsibility. That seam on the left-hand side is they can't throw it until right about here. You're going to have 2 players on there, especially if I would have inverted the coverage. That's not a healthy seam for them. Now, obviously, this is something that, if they have the right play dialed up, then they're going to have an opportunity to get a good play. But if this is third and long, right? Third and 10, third and 15, or if you feel like their route combination is more about, developing to the outsides, or if they're doing something to where they're doing a lot of crossers that take a long time, this is something you want to go to. And you're going to see that all we're going to wait for is that seam right there. We're good. Once we get to that point, our player can play both seams. We're not worried about that. We can now peel off down if we wanted to. So do know that you are giving up some coverage, but this is kind of what you do with blitzes. Sometimes you send an extra person, you get aggressive, and you're just going to have to play good manual defense behind it. Again, this is not an every down defense. This is when you need it, but I really like it because of the dual edge heat. So I'll show it to you again. Again, we're going to base the line. Oop, I got the wrong guys here. Let me see. I'm on defense. Right. So base the line. And then what we're going to do is spread, crash up, blitz, quarterback contain. And then what we're going to do is take this guy again, put him on the outside. And we're good to go there. And then we're going to use this guy. Now, if they don't block their their running back, which they will on third down, whatever, you're going to get that blitz on the left side, so you're good. So you're really just kind of looking at what's going on with those players over there. Let's just mimic that this B is doing an in route, A is doing a streak, something like that. And then we'll kind of do it towards something like this, right? Well, if this is the case, what you're going to end up seeing here, and especially if you invert your coverage, you're going to want to look at the A and then come back down to this player, right? So it all depends on what's going on with it, but you really don't have to cover for very long just because of the way it is, right? Again, if you saw the blitz, I think my guy got banged a little bit, but he still got in eventually here. Yeah, he went through the outside gap, so he didn't hit that gap the way we wanted him to. And that's only because of the tight end running that streak route. See what happened here? When he ran that streak route, he bumped him off of his route a little bit. He's coming in that gap the entire time here, but he got bumped off that route and then he got redirected. Not the end of the world. He's going to get in. It's just a matter of the timing of it. So, if the guy was doing anything other than that type of route, we're going to be able to get it in. But I just want to make sure a lot of times I'll go to a different type of formation, something like trips. Let's see here. Is there anything in here that I can show PA crossers or anything like that? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're doing something like this to where they're blocking, they're doing, PA crossers, what you're going to see here is that you're still going to have a good opportunity to get the player on the left end if their player's on that, right? So, let's see here. Does this look right? Yeah, it looks right. Let's no, a second. Yep. And here we are. And again, all we're going to do with this player is do it like that. And we'll go ahead and see here. You see that they're going to block. If they have the guy blocking on the right, that's just not going to come in. It's not going to help them out because it's going to come in that way. If they do PA crossers where they leave the play action, I'll show you here. And they leave the play action like that. We'll do the same setup. Alrighty. And they're going to go to the left side, and you're going to have that guy come right there, right? So if you see that, there's very little that they can do. And that's why I kind of like this setup when I know that they're going to be doing something, that they get down the field. They go through that guy's going to hit that gap, right? He hits that gap. They've got to get the ball out of their hand right about here. And you can see that I was just standing there with my user. I obviously would have covered that guy that comes across the middle, that's doing it, at least in his path. I'm not going to take him all the way down to the sidelines because I know this blitz is going to get in, but I'm going to cover it a little bit more to that side. So just things to see when to use it, when not to use it. But because you got dual edge heat, that really puts a lot of stress on them that unless they're max protecting, you're going to be able to get this in. It's kind of one of my third and long type of scenarios. Plus, I like it on the right hash mark when it's not third and long if I want to get a little bit more aggressive.